We'll be back. We'll figure it out.
Hopefully we'll be back. Okay, new studio.
Watch a partner. The Twitch drops is live for every Warframe partner.
Okay.
Just.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on #Confirmed, we are going to be digging into Devstream 104 to check out all of the new juicy bits that we have for this year. Of course, we're going to start things off with their new set, which looks absolutely freaking amazing. Now, for those of you guys who didn't get to tune in, or have never actually taken a tour of their studio, one of the things that I always love pointing out about the old Devstream set is literally there is no place to walk. If you've ever taken the tour, there's like about this much space of leg room from the tables and the couches, and then between the big kind of like, they have this big like TV up there so that they can read chat and whatnot. There's like about this much space to walk around it. It was a super tight set, and that's just not something that you guys caught on camera, but this new one looks absolutely amazing, except for the whole crazy fire alarm thing that we happened at the end. That was pretty intense. So if you guys didn't get to catch it in any way, shape, or form, they had this fire alarm that went off at the very end of like, are we gonna leave? Are we supposed to leave? We're just gonna stay here and take a look at Augments. And then all of a sudden they get a text message. They're like, y'all gotta go. And apparently they also got like a message at the very end saying that they didn't take fire safety seriously and that they got in trouble for that. But we do want to thank the devs real quick for trying to stick it out, trying to show us all of the augments, and I'll have a separate video on that when we go ahead and cover all of that information for the new stuff. We will be taking a look at Nidus's augment in a little bit, but I wanted to start things off with the big news because I've gotten so many questions about this on stream in the YouTube comments. But in early February, we will be seeing the new Prime Vault unleashed. Of course, it's going to be containing Frost, it'll be containing Ember, and Loki. They're all going to have individual packs available for purchase, and of course you're going to be able to grind out their relics in the star chart. So you can get everything for free if you want to, but if you did want to pick them up, you can pick them up individually, or there is going to be a 2-pack for Ember and Loki together. So if you missed out on Ember and Loki, definitely something that you guys want to check out, especially because Ember has Glaive Prime, and as y'all know, I go apeshit crazy for Glaive Prime just because of all the damage that it can output, especially with the Zocti, or just, you know, if stealth multipliers are involved, so you could be an invisibility Loki, you could do all that kind of stuff, or a Mirage that blinds, Radial Disarm, Excalibur, whatever you want. And then of course she comes with the Sycorax Prime as well. Or at least she did come with the Sycorax Prime originally, and we all know Sycorax Prime just fucking powerhouse. So that's going to be really exciting. Also, in addition to this, I want you guys in the comments to let me know how you feel, because last time they had the Mag and Rhino pack, which was called the Brute Force. So Brute for Rhino, Force for Mag. I was like, oh my god, so dope. What do you think that Ember and Loki's like joint pack name would be called? I really want to see it in the comments. Go ahead and let me know. The next thing that they went ahead and covered in the dev stream was the fact that Scott made note that he was traversing a new landscape. Now, he didn't say it. He didn't say it by name, but we all know the next landscape is going to be on Venus. I've got some people on the inside telling me that it's looking fantastic, which I'm really excited about. But they did say that you're going to need some maps. So that's definitely something that he wanted to point out, because kind of in not in Cetus, but in, what do you call it? It's the Plains of Eidolon. It's a pretty big open space, and you can kind of figure your way out around there. But in this place, he was like, you might need maps. I personally think that it might have something to do with the fact that possibly it's a cityscape. Possibly there's some internal areas, maybe some buildings that you need to navigate, and that's why you need some maps. I'm reading into this, and it's all completely speculation, but the fact that they pointed out the fact that it feels a lot bigger than the Plains of Eidolon, and in the Plains you don't necessarily need maps, but here you're gonna need some maps. So part of me is like, are we talking cityscape? Is it gonna be a Corpus cityscape? Are we gonna get that? Because I'm excited for it. They also went ahead and touched on the thing that happened at the end of the year for PC players. I won't go in depth with what that was, but the cinematic quest that is supposedly tied in with that is slated, at least on the stream, they said that it's slated to come out before Venus, which is slated to come out in the spring of this year. So we've got Venus coming up and potentially the cinematic quest coming up before that. you know, the cinematic quest about the dark place. They didn't name it, but they threw some shade about what it could possibly be, if you know what I mean. So let's go on and move to the next thing, which I think is really, really exciting, but also kind of scary. All right. So one of the things that they mentioned is damage 2.5 and Korra. So damage 2.5 is something that's kind of on the tips of a lot of people's tongues, and they, you know, thanked all of us for all of the information that we had given them, all of the feedback, all of our worries, all the things that they were thinking about. And y'all, okay, so the changes to damage 2.5, you know, didn't seem, you know, it didn't seem amazing or great or crazy, but they specifically stated in the dev stream that they are going to make more radical changes to damage 2.5. So, you know, they basically said everything in that dev workshop, throw it out the fucking books. It's out. It's out the window. They don't even pay attention to that anymore. They might use that as some sort of rubric, but legitimately, they might go bigger and harder on damage 2.5. Which a part of me is, I felt alright about like, you know, damage 2.5 coming in. I'm like, we can deal with this. We can deal with this. But now they're out there saying we're gonna make radical changes, and I'm like, how radical are these changes gonna be? I'm scared, but I'm also excited. The thing that I want to tie into that I'm excited for is they're actually going to be decoupling Korra's release with damage 2.5. They're going to go in, retool some of her kit so that she feels good, independent from damage 2.5, so that she'll be able to kind of be her standalone, which I think is fantastic because I thought Korra looked amazing and I really wanted to play her and get my hands on her. There's some really cool things about her kit, but, you know, because of the fact that I would prefer that they focus, that they really focus themselves and figure out where it is that they want to go with damage 2.5, especially if they're going to make radical changes. I really want them to spend as much time as they can with that, polishing it up, making sure that it feels correct, making sure that it feels balanced, making sure that they haven't completely thrown away our investment in certain weapons and whatnot. But you know, that is what that is. So decouple Korra, give you some more time, give us our kitty cats because we want double kitty cats ASAP, because yes, I am psyched about Korra and I can't wait to see what happens when they release her. And maybe after they release damage 2.5, they'll be able to kind of shift her and skew her kit a little bit more to fit the new damage settings that they've got out there. Next thing that we're going to be taking a look at, I know some of y'all are going to be very excited for two ways, two different things. First off, we have got Mesa Deluxe. Oh, I am excited about this one, to be completely honest with you. Now, on the podcast, so for those of you guys who don't know, the reason why I'm recording this in the longer version is because I do a podcast right after the dev stream with some other YouTubers, Mogamu, Neoness, and I'm sure in the future we'll also have Life of Rio and Nix_TV there with us as well. But that's the reason I'm doing the format, because I have like way too many things going on. I'm like, I gotta do it this way. But we do have Mesa Deluxe. I named it there as a 7.5. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be strong. But I think it'll be better after I get my colors out of it. So the theme here is Conquistador, which I'm really liking. I'm liking the helmet. I know I saw a couple people in chat that said that they did not like the helmet at all. I thought it looked kind of cool, a little bit Tweety birdish, if you know what I say. It looks like a little bit like a bird. Some people were saying that they felt it looked Zephyr-y, but it does look like Conquistador. I actually like the frame that's like right around the eyes. That looked super badass. The only thing that I didn't really like about it was the fact that the two fins of her coat kind of like connected in the back. Aside from that, I thought it looked pretty dope. The one thing that is missing from this image, however, is her new regulators. So they're still looking into new models for that, and I don't quite feel like Mesa is complete without her regulators. Like, she's got to have something there, and I hope that they make her regulators look as dope as they did with the Ash Koga skin, because as you guys know, the Ash Koga skin had those two like almost scythe-like hook kind of blades that were on his arms, and I'm like, let's give Mesa something like that, but sexy. So I'm up for that. Can't wait to see it in actual game. I really want to see the artist like step up and polish it up a little bit so that we can go ahead and have it compete against some of the really great texturers from Tenogen, because as you guys know, Faven is one of my favorite cloth texture people for Tenogen. I'm like, you need to go head to head with him, y'all. Regardless, Mesa Deluxe is coming out. Let me know how you guys feel about that. But, you know, some people were saying it looked a little bit like Zephyr, and we got some interesting news about Zephyr. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love is when DE spills the tea without necessarily spilling the tea. I'm like, I see what you're trying to say here. But they said, so it's time to talk about Zephyr's rework. What? Zephyr's rework? So we get a Zephyr Prime. That's exactly what I said. The second that the shit came out that they're gonna rework Zephyr, you damn well know her ass is gonna be the next Prime. They didn't actually go into any details about what they were planning on doing, but they did say that they were gonna start working on it. They've taken suggestions from the community, and they've taken some internal suggestions, and they're gonna start playing around with it. So Zephyr is gonna be getting a rework soon. So Zephyr Prime, y'all excited? I'm excited for the rework, and I'm excited for Zephyr, because the one thing that we've noticed with the last few Primes is they've definitely taken some more risks. They've gotten it really heavily into detailing. They've done great jobs. We've seen it with Hydroid Prime. We've seen it with Mirage Prime. And I know that when Minky spoke about Zephyr previously, that he wasn't fond of the way that she turned out. At least he felt that way, or he said that it wasn't one of his favorite looking frames. And, you know, so I think that this is the team's chance to come back and polish up that Zephyr and make her all primed and golden and beautiful. I'm excited, and I can't wait to see what they do with the rework. Don't fuck up Turbulence, DE. Don't fuck up Turbulence. Don't touch Turbulence. In fact, don't touch Turbulence unless you're gonna make it better. So moving along with that, we talked about making things pretty, and one of the things that a lot of people have been waiting on for a while is Tennogen. So we have Tennogen round 11 coming at us in 3 waves. They did say that the first round of Tennogen will be coming next week. So this upcoming week, we're gonna make things look pitiful. What's in that round? I have absolutely no clue, but we will find out very, very soon. The second round they are going to try to push out before the end of January, so we'll be able to see that as well. And then the third will be in February. February is kind of turning out to be a pretty big month. We're going to get the Unvaultings, and we're going to get some Fashion Frame as well, so that's absolutely fantastic. Really, really excited. The next thing that they kind of chatted about, and this was a weird thing. Don't know where they came up with this idea. Sometimes you just kind of sit there and you're like, who thought this up? I don't know how I feel about it, but it is the fact that we will be able to basically play Grand Theft Warframe. We're going to be able to hijack some of the Darjans that the Grineer are using out in the plains and use them for aerial combat. The only thing that I'm really, really curious about this is how far are they going to go with it? Are they going to leave it like, kind of like how we have turrets, right? You know how they have Grineer turrets and they spend some time designing Grineer turrets. We can jump into a Grineer turret and fire it off and that be the end of that. Or are they considering maybe adding different variants of arc wings? Because, I mean, we have our arc wings, but clearly they're also able to make Darjans work for us. Would we potentially have a new form of space combat with these things that were actually originally found in space? You know, they're space troops. So in my head, I'm like, so maybe we might get a Grineer themed arc wing in the form of a Darjan? Could we have a Corpus themed arc wing? You know, with some propeller packs or some shit, or like one of those what do you call this, or one of the drone looking things? I don't know. Regardless, I think it's really, really interesting. It's not necessarily the high points of everything. But it's definitely different and something that, you know, it's nice to see them continue development for the planes. It's not like we're done with the planes, we're moving on to something else, and we're going to completely forget about that part in there. They also kind of quickly talked about the Megalist and the Rainalist, that they're still in development, that they'll eventually come out. Nothing too in-depth there, just kind of mentioned in passing. So last but not least, they went into the Augments very shortly. Very, very, very shortly. Now, basically what they did is they were attempting to show off the new augments for Nidus, Titania, Harrow, and Equinox. Unfortunately, they only got to Nidus, and that was mainly because of the fact that the fire alarms went off and they had to leave. So Nidus is the only one that we got saw, and it was going to be an augment for his 2, where they basically have the larva augment, and they wanted to optimize him for capture and exterminate missions, because as you guys know, one of the things about Nidus is he gets powerful when he gets going. Nidus is just okay in standard combat, but he's not necessarily the greatest. He's the best at kind of like camping, building up those mutation stacks and really just amping his damage output up. That's what he's absolutely fantastic about. So they wanted to give him some functionality when it came to faster missions. So Larva, you can actually reactivate Larva to do a big AoE damage that also guarantees status procs. Now from what we saw on the stream, I believe it is 300 or 500 base. I believe somebody had told me that it's 500 base in chat. So we've got that, and if it deals viral procs at the same time, that's actually pretty fantastic because it'll cut any enemy's remaining health in half that they didn't be able to kill with the initial strike. So that's pretty cool. Either you take them out initially or you half their health, which is pretty gosh darn handy. And then of course, this is when the fire alarms went off, and the greatest thing about this is they were like sitting there for the longest time like, do we leave? Do we stay? Do we leave? You're like, it's a false alarm. It's fine. And then they get in trouble because they did not leave fast enough. But I guess that's exactly how things go. There were a couple last few things that they did touch on, but they didn't really go in depth into any of these things, and we didn't have any kind of conclusion on them. They were chatting really quickly about the morality system. They didn't want it to be like virtue signaling or anything along those lines. They wanted it to be kind of like more in-depth and have some real feelings of consequence rather than just, look at me, I'm a badass, or look at me, I'm a great person, or look at me, I've decided to stay in the middle. They wanted something a little bit deeper than that, and they were thinking about integrating it into the cinematic crest that's coming up, but they're not making any promises. And when they say they're not making any promises, I would say don't expect it in there. Another thing that we probably don't want to expect anytime soon is the Hydroid Prime trailer. Basically, the only statement that we got off of that is that Jeff had opened the files this week. It's their first week back, so he's already opened it in the first week, so he's taking a look there, but don't think any progress was made on that. So that about does it for the wrap up of this dev stream. Alright, hold on for 1 second because legitimately past Rob dropped the ball, so future Rob had to come through for you guys with the two-handed Nikana animations. These things look absolutely fucking fantastic, and I'm just waiting. When are we gonna get our hands on this? There's so many balls kind of like up in the air right now with DE, like when's Korra coming out? Let's get these Unvaultings out. And you gotta tease us with this whole thing. I'm like, damn, it looks really, really good. I love the animation where they literally put the dude on the sword coming from the hand. I'm like, ooh, sexy. And I don't know what it is. Let me know in the comments if you guys feel the same way. But I felt like fans, the Nikana, and now the two-handed Nikana have a very strong like pull on the audience. Is it really just these Japanese inspired weapons that do it, or do you think there are any kind of like other iconic weapons that really grab us? A lot of people went crazy for the pump action shotgun too, so part of me is like, maybe it's just like iconic weapon types that really do it. So toss that in the comments because I'm very curious if there are anything else that you guys really had a visceral reaction to when they said they were gonna release, because y'all went crazy for that two-handed Nikana. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back to Past Rob now. Boop. Let me know, what do you think about the new Devstream digs? What do you think about the fire alarm? Let me know. Do you think they should have left their asses ASAP, or do you think they should have stayed there in dedication to their player base? Because they stayed for quite a while. In addition to that, Zephyr Prime, hashtag confirmed. Are you guys excited about that? Because I legit, listen, if it's not Zephyr Prime, will be shocked. I will do an extremely drunk episode of something of your choosing if it is not Zephyr Prime. Y'all know I like making my bets. That's why. In addition, Mesa Prime skin. Are you guys excited? Are you, like I said, we got mixed reactions in our podcast chats, and that's pretty much it for now. Go ahead and toss all of those in the comments below, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.